Cause we be on a tough love. Oh, we feeling so high. Don't be afraid of falling, falling. Cause you know we gon' fly. Cause we be on a tough love. Oh, we feeling so high. Don't be afraid of falling, falling. Cause you know we gon' fly. Cause we be on a tough love.
I just realized my microphone's been muted this whole time. As I get a message saying that I haven't heard anything. That's hilarious. Thank you guys for the follows. I missed Ollie and Abaddon. I'm sorry. Thanks for following. And to catch up, anyone that's been in here, thanks for joining. We have left off building up these cliffs. We were using the cube shape of the rock brush. And now I'm kind of going in trying to just break up the shapes a little bit. So trying to, instead of having like I can tell that this is a cube, this is a cube, this is a cube. I'm trying to sort of get some shapes that blend them together, make them seem like one whole piece here. See if we can get something a little more interesting. This is kind of the last one. I think I'm kind of happy with how these ones look. I don't mind the little bit of platforming going on. I think that's kind of the character I was going for anyways. We're just trying to round out certain parts, blend them together, smooth them out. Add some little more interesting details to it. There we go. Let's try and get some of these more square chunks taken care of here. This one is pretty squared off on all angles here. And I think having the cone a little bit bigger kind of helps with that too. Though it does eat into more of the cliff if we do that too. Well, that doesn't look too bad. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see here. That's a little aggressive. Let's see. think we got at least a little bit of detail into most of the areas here. Not entirely happy with this side being as flat looking as it is, but I don't really want to dig into it too much either. Yeah, I don't really like how that's turning out. That's not as bad, I think. Let's shrink this down, maybe. Yeah, that helps. Just to get rid of some of these really straight lines. There we go. I think that looks okay. And let's just pull back here. Kind of get a view from the distance. I want to chop this back a little. Oops. Let's go just ground view and see. I think that is a little too flat. Hi. Welcome, Fluffy. Welcome back. My day's going good. How's yours? Thanks for joining us. You had an apple stuck in your teeth. That's too much. There we go. No, I think I'll leave that. That looks okay. Trim that down. I'm doing good, Fluffy. How are you? Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a creative outlet, pretty much. I don't build for any real reason other than my own enjoyment. I have heard a Vintage Story. I actually have some friends that just bought it yesterday, and they're all starting a server together. I was debating joining them, but we'll see. Hi, how's it going? Thanks for joining, Ziva. We are just doing a little bit of practice with Axiom. Stream's not going too bad. We just kind of started back up. We took a little bit of a lunch break. And I'm hoping... What I'm trying to make here is I have this little bit of a, I guess I would call it like a lush desert back here. And I'm trying to make a transition into a bit of a more mountainous area. So we're going forward and trying to build up this rocky bit. I don't know if I want to add any grass to them is the thing I'm wondering. I guess it would probably be better just to get the colors slapped onto the cliffs first and then go from there. But I think before I start coloring these, I might start adding in some of the smaller rocks first. Let's do that. Let's grab this. Let's grab a more. No, I don't want that. Capsule shape is decent. More noisy, more better. Ollie, do you like to build too? Let's go lower to the ground. The dome shape is a little... Oh, I have this on, that's why. Yeah, I think we can make that work. Let's make it smaller though. Just gonna get some different little rocks sprinkled around here. And I'll go back and I'll edit some of these too. They won't just stay looking like these little capsules. We're just trying to add some more interest to the area here. So it's not just these grassy little slopes. Because we have like these smaller rocks here, and I think that helped it out quite a bit to look a little bit better. So we're going to just kind of do the same in the other areas. I don't mind these smaller bits. Let's do this. Let's see here. All right, and then I think it's best if we shape these up a little bit before we color them. That's where I do need this back. Just so that these aren't so round again. We could also try, instead of melting, we could try smoothing slightly. Oh, not with a brush that big. Let's go much smaller. Okay. Strength is set to low. It might just kind of help it blend into the grass some more. And then we can just melt away certain sections. And then we can smooth it again. See what it looks like. Welcome in. And actually, I do want to add some of this back in. Maybe we will just leave that and trim out some of this part. Hi, Indy. Welcome. Honestly, I do kind of like how round that is. Maybe I'll try to leave it for the most part. Yeah, I think it just looks better before. For all, I don't think they look bad. They're probably fine. Smaller, rounded, more smooth. Let's get a view here. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. Let's see about getting some color on these. Okay, so this needs to be terracotta still. I'm going to save the granite, I think. We're going to add that back in later. Where is my regular terracotta? Light gray. And what else did we have over here? Exposed copper was the one that we were going to do. Thought that added a nice little tiny bit of color. And then let's change our pattern. Now that might not be too bad if we break it up. I want it to be... I don't want it to be too splotchy looking. Let's see. Can I... Nope. Let's reduce that. And then let's make the brush bigger and see how it looks. Yeah, that's a little too noisy. And I'm not sold on the copper blocks, actually, now that I see them on there. So let's get rid of those. And then now it's leaving the back out, so let's see. we're using just 3 colors. I think I want these actually a little bit more organized. Maybe the noisiness is too much. Let's paint over some of this and get a better look at it with all together. We can go back over the white terracotta if we think it's not enough. I don't think that's looking terrible, actually. It's a little apparent that it's a pattern, but we can always go back and brush more in. And I think adding the granite will help too. Let's back it up. I think there's too much of the gray. Thanks for the follow, Mariana. Hey, Fog. How's it going? Welcome back. Okay, I see. Let's do that. I really can't decide if I like it or not. I think before I let that paint that way, we might try a gradient. Where's the gradient tool? Right here. And then, oh gosh, I have to remember how to do this. That is not what I'm looking for. All right. There is a way. I did this last time on the other project where I did it based on the sun's angle. Now I have to try and remember how I did that. Was that... Maybe that was the auto shade or something. Let me see. Is that in... I think it's the auto shade. I think if I do this... Or if I select this mountain... I mean, I have this one back here too, I guess. And there should be auto shade. I think that's what I'm for. We want to go by sun's angle. I believe I want this set at 90 to be above. So we'll go just a little bit less than. More than I'd say. A little bit of dithering is nice. Custom palette is what we want because we have a palette. You're going to try and watch while you ride your go-kart. That sounds crazy. That sounds wild. All right, I think auto shade is going to get me the result I want a little bit more. We just got to figure out the settings here now. Let's back that up. We could want it closer to 90. This might be arranged poorly. Let's try it again, see if that does anything. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Because I know I want the orange on top, or the white on top. Orange in the middle, and the light gray near the darker areas. So let's see if this works now. Is the stream coming through okay for everyone? It says it's skipping frames a little bit. Be a little too strong there. Let's do this. So we get some more of the orange too. I think I do need another color to blend in there. But it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. Closer to what I was expecting, I think. I'm going to try swapping these back. I'm going to add in gonna try some acacia wood. Might be a little strong, but we'll give it a look. I don't think that's terrible. Let's turn it up though. How does this look? I think I like that. It's almost like they're snow covered. That's not exactly what I was hoping for though. I like the mix of the orange though. That helps. So let's see. What's the thing I'm looking for? It's in here. Let's see if we go from white, terracotta, to, let's see what it comes up with. Anything? We tried the copper before, but the edges look really strong. Blocks of raw iron, though, might be interesting. No zoom. There we go. Let's try that. Not that that's super survival friendly. Just had to do that, but we'll figure it out. Oh, that is noisy. No. What about, I think we were looking at earlier. The bird too yellow. They might need to be swapped. Maybe if I swap these in less minutes. No, I'm not sold on it. It's a little yellow. A little too yellow. Let's see. You're wild and fog. You're wild and out right now. Oh, bone block might look decent. Let's check it out. And let's try the, was it smooth sandstone? I don't know if this will go with the white terracotta necessarily, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. Sandstone is what doesn't fit. So let's try. I don't know. Not too sure about it. I'd lessen this. I really wanted it to be. It's not far, but I want it to be a little bit brighter. Maybe brighter isn't the right word. Maybe just slightly more saturated. I think what we're going to do is we're going to add one more block. We're going to try adding a pop of color. We're going to add this to the bottom. We're going to see what that does. Thanks for the follow, Mask. Okay, so that's just putting it in the shadows. Swap these. Do like that better. I think the red helps. Now, what is overwhelming? Regular terracotta, I think. Gets us more of the brighter colors. I don't think that's too bad. It's different from what we did before. Let's see. Welcome in. Let's try this. How much different is it when we set this down? What's the angle at that? Okay, so that's going left to right. That's almost like backlit. Which is not terrible. Yeah, I think what we had is probably about as good as it's going to get to start. Maybe I did like it better when this was lower. Yeah, I think so. And let's see if I were to... Where's the regular painter? Yeah, give me that. Clear this. I want a small brush. Tall and skinny. That looks decent. Let's set the block to granite and see, because I haven't tried this yet, but I'm wondering how this looks. I think it might be a little bit noisy. It doesn't look terrible with the terracottas, but I think without other textured blocks, it's kind of overwhelming. I could try using this as a base and then using the noise over top of it. That we had like this. So is there... We can add the red back to this too. Terracotta, terracotta. Hi, Ash. How's it going? Oh, we already had light gray. We need the standard. There we go. Now going from our base. Thank you, Ash, for tuning in and liking. Let's see. Need to do this. This just lets us allow multiple blocks to be painted on. So we're including what's on the mountains and not the grass, essentially, is all we're doing. We're just masking it out so we can only affect the mountain. So I need to add light gray terracotta too. Does that include? Yeah, okay. So now that should work. Or is it masking that? Oh, I see. I'm doing it wrong. This needs to be an or, not an and. These need to be in here. That's where I messed up. This can go away. This is what we want to apply. Yes. Okay. We got it. We got it. Now, see, we can paint this little pattern on these rocks. It doesn't look bad on the smaller ones. Just not really sure how I want to do. I do think this pattern looks a little bit better than just having the auto shade. I do think I like that better. Yeah, I think that's much better. Just gives it a little more variety across the whole thing instead of just having a pattern that goes top down. It's a little bit more fitting to what we have over there too. Could do this too, which will allow us to stretch the pattern in different directions. Which I do think it looks better on these taller. And then let's reduce the amount of white terracotta a little bit. It gives it a little bit more of a striped look. Just tweak these a little bit. Let's see. Let's have the sun hit that. Back it up. Do I need to go this way? Sorry. This is probably a little jarring for some people. I'll just go around to the back. We'll look in the sunlight. That's what I want to see. I think that looks kind of neat. I think we need to add the bone blocks to both of these. Any access is fine. Then we can add our acacia wood back in. We can add. We'll see how it looks with bone blocks too. We'll see. Is it just too many block types? Actually, the pops of white from the bone block, I think, look pretty good. I think there is a little too much. There's a lot of acacia wood in there. Oh, you know what? That's because it's not getting replaced. Because I haven't added it to the filter. That is more what I'm trying to get to do. I like that. I like that. Okay. Little pop of red, little pop of orange. It's brighter than this, and it has red instead of the blue. Let's run that. Let's do it. We're gonna do it. So we'll paint everything over. Definitely think this looks better than the flat pattern we had going on. Why is it missing that section? Hi, welcome in. We are just trying to paint some cliffs. Let's see. It might be a little overwhelming seeing all of them painted now. It might be a little noisy. It's kind of a lot to look at. So let's see. If I back it up. Can I back it up far enough to where all the cliffs are blank? Or have I painted too many times? There we go. Okay. We're going to select everything here this time. See if my computer can handle it. Try to anyways. Grabbing all of the clips. This is a lot of blocks to be changing at once, so this might be bad. This might be a lot. It might look a little framey because it is a little framey. We are editing a massive amount of blocks with this. see, are we missing anything? Yep. Let's grab these. Big rotation. Grab that. Grab all that. I think we have the bulk of it selected. I can always go back in and fix it a little bit later. Let's see now. I auto shade everything with this. What does it look like? It looks like it's going to give my computer a heart attack. There it goes, filling in. Smaller rocks. A little too pale. Do think this looks better than crazy pattern though. But let's go ahead and try, instead of having pale blocks on the top, let's try it with the bright oranges up top. Is that all bone block? Oh boy, I gotta definitely reduce that number. Let's try that again. That is still kind of overkill on the bone block, but oh, I guess it depends on the side I look at, so maybe I just need to adjust the sun angle. Sun angle will probably fix my issue here. That looks better. I'll drop the red down. It's kind of overwhelming. I want the regular terracotta to do most of the work in the shadows. So let's see. I think that looks better for sure. I don't know still. I'm not sold on it. Hmm.
Nine to five, it gets me down. The lies I tell that I care. Oh, I earned my pay. Now screw it all. Don't want that stress today. I'm moving to the music now. Jump into the drums and itching to be free again. Happiness.
Yeah, I think we're gonna try a little bit different here. So it look like with a pinch of sand on the tops. Well, that is not enough sand. Okay. Oh, that's way too much. 30% is way too much. Actually, it's not too bad here. I think we're getting somewhere. I definitely think we are getting somewhere. Okay. We're going to leave this here. We're going to see when we populate this with some other things how it starts to look. So let's see. What do we got left to add? We need some foliage. So let's clear this. Let's go. Need a new filter. It's gotta be place it air. No, block needs to be on grass. Above it needs to be air. If I remember right. This might be totally wrong. And then we want to come down here. Let's go short grass, tall grass. We can mix in some of our dried grass, both heights. Does it work? It looks like it's replacing it. Okay. So block, I think I have this backwards. I think it needs to be air, and below it needs to be grass. Yes. Okay. Business. Okay. So now looking at this, we can heavily reduce the amounts because we want some negative space. We don't want every single block to be loitered with stuff. I like how this is kind of patchy over here. This would be really cool. Actually, a good idea would be to stretch this pattern, kind of like I have, but fill it in a little bit better. And this would be really nice for like rows of crops for farm fields. That would look pretty good. Let's see. Let's change our pattern. Something a little more sporadic, I think. Maybe the default is just better if I just reduce the scale here. Let's just do this. Scale it so it's a little more crazy. Yeah, okay. I think that's starting to get somewhere. Let's go a little bit less on everything. It's not terrible. Oh, you know what? I forgot 2 tall blocks, so you have to go back in and paint on them again. So we'll have to adjust that. But let's get some of this filled in, especially near the water. Let's paint it in so it's not just plain grass. Let's go over here. And we are not done yet, so don't worry if you're wondering if this is just gonna be some rocks and some grass. It's not. We got lots more to do. This just adds a nice little bit of detail to it pretty quick, so I want to see how things start to look when they're all together. There we go. Because that gets us some grass. I think that helps. Definitely helps. Yep, I like that. Okay. Now, what I want to do, let's grab this again. Get rid of this. Is this only the dirt in the water, or is this grabbing the water itself? I think that is selecting the water itself. Certainly looks like it. So let's do this. Oops, did not mean to do that. Let's say sand or dirt. Now, will it let me? No, it will not. It will here, not in the water. Interesting. It will if I go in the water. Okay. That is definitely grabbing a lot of dirt. That is not what we want. Okay. Let's see here. Let's just clear this out. Let's make all of the dirt in there be sand. Right, sand, yes. Painter, yes. Let's just make it easy. Make it bigger. If we see dirt, we want it to be sand. That is definitely what we're looking for. Yes. Yep. It just doesn't really update when it's under the water for some reason. It's like a visual bug. But it's working. Because I want that brighter underneath color. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. And then what we can do, is that grass under there? That's kind of funny. So from here, we can say, okay, if the block is sand, we need this to be an and, actually. This can go, this can go. The block is sand. No, block needs to be water. And it needs to be above sand, is what we need to say. Or, I got it backwards again. Below the water needs to be sand. This can go away. Then we're going to go back in with our noise painter. And we are going to do seagrass. And we are going to do sea pickles. And we can get rid of these. Get rid of these. And that's a pretty sparse pattern. So it's not going to be too crazy. But it's just a little crazy. There's a lot of sea pickles in there. Okay. Let's reduce that a little bit. The grass can go up some. Yeah, that looks better. And that just adds a little something in the bottom here. And we can also, I need to paint this with the regular painter. And we need to set this to dirt. Pull this down for a moment. Make this active. And we are painting sand again. And now we can put this back on and paint that back in. And now the sea pickles give it a little bit of glow. That way it's not entirely dark. So we can go back to paint. We can say some of that sand on the walls here. We can go ahead and shrink this down and just grab some regular terracotta. That way all the walls aren't sandy. And just paint in some of this. And And we'll mix in a little bit of color. Just a little. And this is only targeting the sand, so that's why it's working the way it is. But that looks a little bit better. Get rid of that. And for fun, we can just kind of complete this little area with some more lighting by adding some glowberries. Not eating them, planting them. And these will grow in. That'll look fine. That sand, that's not going to stay there. That should have fallen. There we go. That'll lushen that up a little bit. And we can do some of this just for fun. Or does it have to be planted on clay? Big drip leaf can be planted. That's fine. We'll just plant a couple of those. That's fun. We'll let those glowberries do something there, grow in, light that up a little bit on their own. That's just a fun little detail anyways. And then we need to work on some trees and bushes, which is going to be a pain for me. I have not gotten that down yet. The other thing I kind of wanted to add, let's see here. So I want some more green. And I would like, let's do this, put this back. This can go, this can, let's do grass. Air only. I'm going to get rid of this. I want to add a couple flowers to the area. I think the peonies would look nice, and maybe we do. Maybe we do the lilacs. Or the alliums are good too. Let's try these. And let's turn them way down. Are these two talls? Or can they grow as one talls? I do not remember. I think that looks okay. Maybe we gotta turn them a tiny bit. Or there's not a ton of grass, so let's get them turned up a little bit. I'm still not seeing them a whole lot. There's a cat. You see that? There they are. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this, because maybe that's the problem, is the seed is too similar. Yeah, seed was too similar to the previous one. Oh, did not mean to do that. Paint in some flowers. And this is, again, it's restricted to grass blocks that have air above them. And it's a randomized pattern. All this blank space in between them. So it's not going to overwrite the grass that already exists. It's going to look for holes that fit this pattern. That just gives it another little tiny pop of color. Which I like. I think it helps. And I think the purples and pinks look pretty good. So... And we got the sea cucumbers to light up the water a little bit. I think it might be time to mess with trees. So I want some trees and I want some shrubs, and I want some of them to grow actually on the rocks themselves, even. I'd like to have a couple perched in some of these areas, add some green to the cliffs. Oh yeah, look at that, with the glowberries growing in now. That looks so much better in there. So this is not super different from where we've came from. This is a little bit more sandy, a little bit more dried out, a lot more dry grass, sandstone and whatnot in the cliffs, more sand on the ground. Here we're adding in more elevation, we're adding in some actual water, a lot more greenery, a lot more plant life. The stones themselves are less sandy. Kind of trying to transition a little bit out of the desert into more of a, maybe a mesa or a canyon style. I have a couple other ideas that might be able to blend either between these two or from these two. But I think following this one, I'm going to try to do something a little bit more different. That way people can see some more styles other than just what's coming from the warmer temperate areas. But I definitely am pretty happy with the start of this. I think we might end it there for today. And I'm going to gather a bunch of reference and plan out how we're going to move forward. Because like I said, I want to add bushes and trees to this. So I'm going to look up some different types of bushes and trees that might grow around canyons and stuff. So we have some inspiration to go off of. And we will probably pick up, maybe Wednesday will be a good chunk of just practicing trees for a little while. And maybe we can tie this zone up, get it all complete. And maybe some of you can help us plan what we want to tackle next. Thank you everyone for watching.